Yeah, great.
Okay, great. Okay. 1, 2, 3, action. Okay. Hi, my name is Darcy Grumbla. I'm here at Tel Aviv University with the Jerusalem Post. We are here at the annual Board of Governors event where there will be 10 distinguished professionals receiving honorary degrees. I am right here. I'm here right now with Dr. Thomas Friedman from the New York Times. He's a 3-time Pulitzer Prize winner. You've won so many different awards.
Yeah.
What makes this one so special? What makes this award different from all other awards that you've received?
Well, this one is special for a couple reasons. One, my older sister, went to Tel Aviv University on her junior abroad.
Wow.
And the first time I came to the Middle East was actually to visit her when I was 15.
Wow.
So there's a family connection. And I think Tel Aviv University is such an important pillar of democracy and liberal forces in Israel, and I'm here to honor them as much as them to honor me.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a career-defining trip.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. It's where I got my start. So,
what would you say to aspiring journalists who are attending Tel Aviv University? What advice would you give them for their future careers?
Well, I'm glad I had my journalism career when I had it. The print journalism world was a lot more had a lot more opportunities than it does today, but the Jerusalem Post was there back then. The only way to get into journalism is to write. You got to write some more. So I got my start. I started with a wire service, actually, not at the New York Times. No one starts at the New York Times. And, that's my only advice to all young journalists. Just write. Wherever, get printed, solve different problems, develop your clips. That's how you get up.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there are many people who are looking to be Middle East reporters.
Yeah.
I mean, we're here in the Middle East.
Yeah.
This is kind of ground zero for Middle East reporting.
Yeah, it sure is.
What would you say are qualities people need to have to report on the Middle East?
Well, it's important to learn as much of the language as you can. Don't have to be fluent, but you want to know what's going on around you. Learn a lot of the history, and be a good listener.
Yes.
Be a good listener to all sides. I think that's the best way to navigate this very complex story.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations
My pleasure. Thank
on
you.
your honorary degree.
Appreciate it.
And
Thanks for having me.
We're so happy to have you here.
Really appreciate it. You take care.
All right,
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Hi. Very nice to meet you. You are a biophysicist.
I am.
And you are an inventor of
a few things.
Things, yeah.
And so the work that my students and I did in developing novel diagnostics, replacing amniocentesis with a blood test, similarly replacing invasive biopsies in transplant patients with blood tests, said now millions of people every year get touched by that, and that's sort of an awesome feeling.
No, that's amazing. I mean, you're saving lives, anyways, so what brings you here? What's your connection to the Tel Aviv University? We're so happy to have you. Would you kind of describe, what connects you here?
Yeah, well, I've been to Israel many times because the scientific community here is so amazing, and I've been to Tel Aviv University a few times, and just enjoy meeting colleagues here and talking about science. And I find that the Israeli science community is just incredibly creative and energetic, and I'm always inspired to be here and very honored that Tel Aviv University is
yes, for sure.
Recognizing.
And what would you tell students here who would like to follow in your footsteps in research? future groundbreakers, pioneers in scientific discovery?
Yeah, I would encourage them to take a jump into the unknown. I mean, it's easy to stay on the path that everyone else is on, but trying to go where everyone else isn't and find those new areas, that's where the joy has been for me, and I'd encourage them to take those risks.
Okay, well, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We're so excited to have you here. Congratulations, Mazalto, on your honorary degree.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi. Speaking of, hi, it's so nice to meet you, Mr. Jonathan Goodman. Can you just describe a little bit of your work? And also, I mean, you've done significant philanthropy for education initiatives and Jewish communities. Can you just talk a little bit about your work and your initiatives as well?
Sure. So I sell drugs for a living, pharmaceuticals
Yes.
for that matter. And I sell drugs in order to support my philanthropy habit.
Okay.
And
So the philanthropy is more meaningful than the drugs?
they're both meaningful because
Okay.
I make people better and I make money in the process from
Yes.
which to give away.
Yes.
And so I can't imagine a more meaningful way to spend a career.
And why is contributing to the education of Israelis so important to you?
Well, I'm specifically targeting Israelis of Ethiopian descent
Yes.
because they have, in my opinion, they have not been treated that fairly
Mm-hmm.
in Israel. And you're more than 10 times more likely to get shot by a policeman in Israel if you're black than if you're white. For the same job, a black will earn less than a white in Israel. And our people should be better than this, and we're not. And education has always been our people's solution towards dealing with adversity. And so I went out and raised millions of dollars for scholarships for Israelis of Ethiopian descent to get the best education money can buy in Israel.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, education definitely bridges divides, sectoral divides. What qualities in the next generation of students are you looking for?
We're looking for the best and brightest. And the end game will be to create a vibrant, healthy middle class of Israelis of Ethiopian descent who live in Tel Aviv, who live in Jerusalem, who are fully integrated into Israeli society and fully contributing to the growth of this great country.
Yes, of course. And of course, as more people in our society rise up, this improves the economic abilities of the whole country, of everybody.
Absolutely. All boats rise in a rising tide.
Yes, of course. I read a little bit about you before.
I'm sure some of it was true.
I understand that you have dedicated a lot of your resources to fighting cancer and, making sure that, there's treatments for people who are suffering from a disease. And I understand that came after you yourself suffered from that disease. What would you tell a young person who's going through that challenge, facing that sort of adversity?
So I had cancer when I was 21, when I was around your age, I think.
Yeah.
And what I can say is that nobody knows the future. And focus on what you can control, ignore everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You can control your mood, you can control your outlet, you can control what you eat, you can control your diet. And what happens, happens.
Yes.
And just focus on those things that you control and everything will be fine.
Okay. Thank you so much. Those are great words of wisdom and very inspiring.
Thank you for sharing this with me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much and congratulations, Mazalto. And I like your pin. Yes, we support the hostages here.
I myself.
Yes. Me too. Hi, we are going to meet with our next guest very shortly. We're here with the Jerusalem Post and Tel Aviv University. Thank you so much for joining this live. You are free to follow the Jerusalem Post at our Twitter, subscribe to our newsletter. Also, we are sharing this live on the YouTube of Tel Aviv University. So we are really happy to have you here and be able to share this event with you. Our next speaker is joining us very shortly. In the meantime, we will just prepare. Welcome.
Hi, thank you very much.
Can I get both of your names, please?
Of course, my name is Yoni Gertner. I'm the chairman of the management of the Israel Philharmonic Orchestra. And this is Yarim Mashiach with us, who's the general secretary of our orchestra.
Wow, it's so nice to have both of you here. Congratulations on your honorary degrees. The Israeli Philharmonic Orchestra was founded in 1936 to provide, a home for Jewish musicians fleeing Europe. I wanted to ask both of you, I mean, now it's become a cultural icon for Israel. What does that mean to you? And I mean, that's a huge responsibility. How do you think of yourselves as filling those shoes?
Well, I think, as you said, I mean, it's a really big responsibility. It's a huge honor for us to be in that spot, both in the management of the orchestra, but also, as a musician. I'm also a musician in the orchestra. I play in the viola section.
Wow!
And
I used to play the cello.
Really?
Yes.
Cello is fantastic. It's almost as good as the viola. Really that close. It's really a close second. But really, it is a real privilege to be in the orchestra, and I do feel that we have a responsibility as being a very important and unique cultural body in this country, cultural institution, and we also represent our nation in the world.
Yes.
We were just in Munich now, and we were in the U.S. before for a tour, and we were in a brief tour to Germany and Switzerland earlier this year, and we really, we feel that we have a lot of responsibility and a lot of commitment to this place, to the city and to this country, and we feel it while we're here and while we're abroad. Yeah.
Would you like to share?
Just wanted to add, we see ourselves as the Israeli National Orchestra, and I think that our most important mission is really to going on with establishing the quality of the Israeli Philharmonic Orchestra, one of the best orchestras in the world. And we're very proud to have new generations of players coming to the orchestra, immigrants from all over the world that want to come and be residents of Israel and play in our orchestra. We see it as a huge responsibility and a huge honor.
Wow. No, it's incredible. I wanted to ask, I mean, you travel all around the world. You bridge the divide between the world and the rest of the world and Israel. I mean, right now there's obviously a war going on. I like to see music as something that can really bring people together. Have you seen that as you've visited different places all over the world?
Well, as I mentioned, we just had a couple of tours, and it's been a while before that. The last year we mostly stayed in Israel, and when we went back out this year, we really felt really great support everywhere we went. We were in Romania, we were in Germany, Switzerland, the U.S., and we really felt active support. We played in front of full houses. People made an effort, made a statement by being there. They showed us their support, both within the concert, in between pieces, after the concert, with standing ovation and really great applause, and also right after, we would run into people who audience members, and we would talk to them, and we would see how supportive they are, but also how important it was for them at this time to show up and be seen in an event that has the Israel name over it, and being there and showing their support, and again, just by being there, making a statement of how much they like us and how much they love this country.
Another important point, I think that we also discovered how many and how good friends we have all over the world, professional musicians that since October 7th have seen themselves as obligated to come to Israel and play and conduct with the Philharmonic. And we were really amazed to see the support that we get from these musicians. They come all over. We had all our season going on, and it was really due to this fact that we didn't lack any concert because of this.
It's always inspiring, and I feel like we always see the dark, the negative side of things. It's really nice to hear more hopeful, positive, uplifting messages. At Tel Aviv University and also different schools all over Israel, there are students who are aspiring musicians, whether that be in orchestras or bands. What would you say to anybody who wants to start their career in music?
Well, first of all, my goal is always, if you like it and you have a dream and a goal, than have it done. The Israel Philharmonic are more than happy to have mutual programs with Buchman Meta School, for example, here in Tel Aviv, for practicum for students. Now we have a new program called Academy for people who want to be professional orchestral members. And we do audition, and we are more than happy to see young, talented Israelis that want to be a part of the Israel Philharmonic family.
Yes, I mean, I would just say, just people have to practice. Young musicians would know what I'm talking about. Have to be committed and really need to love this. You really need to love what you're doing. Like any profession, it's not easy, making it, to the top or to any kind of professional career. And I really think that you in music, it's an extra. You really need to love it. It has to be part of you, has to be part of your way of life. And if you're able to do that, then I think you already made it.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us here with the Jerusalem Post and Tel Aviv University. Congratulations, Mazalto.
Thank you very much.
Have a good rest of your evening. Great rest of your evening. Okay. Hi, it's so nice to meet you. Yael, right? Yeah, Yael. Okay. Oh my goodness, I hope I... Yes. Sit wherever you'd like here. I'll move my water.
So, babe, I hope I'll understand your questions, and I hope
Oh.
you understand my... תתקדם מה שיהיה, and I hope you'll understand my answers.
Oh,
Okay?
okay.
We will do our best.
I'm sure you'll be fine. I've been in Ulpan
Oh, so
for
let's
the
speak
past
Hebrew.
6 months, but our audience are English speakers. But I speak in my Hebrew is a little bit broken, so we're in this together.
English is also broken, so we will do it.
We will do it. Okay, so you are founder of the organization, co-founder of the organization, Women Wage Peace. It's a massive grassroots organization, and the organization seeks to build a society where there are more women leaders in the space of diplomacy, and
Especially
building peace building. I just want to ask you what keeps you motivated to continue advocating for women.
Okay, so what keeps me going on is the deep knowledge that our voice as mothers, as women, is essential, is crucial for promoting peace. Our special voice as mothers, as women, our special abilities to build trust, to find empathy, even though to people from the other side, to see the multidimension of the problems, to find sustainable solutions, and above all, our devotion, our dedication as mothers to take care of the future of our children and our grandchildren. And I want to add that this distinguished award that I'm going to receive by the name of tens of thousands of amazing women, devoted women from Women Wage Peace, Jews and Arabs all over the country, religious and seculars. We are so happy about this award. It gives us a lot of support, a lot of courage. It's encouraging us. And it reminds us that our work is seen and valued. And it's very, very important for us. Thank you so much.
In Israel, I imagine there's not so many people, not so many women in those rooms where decisions are being made about war and about peace, what would you say to women who want to break into that? How would you say that they approach those spaces where, decisions are being made?
I'll tell you, first of all, the situation is quite challenging. There are a lot of despair and pain and anger, which are so human. But despite these feelings, we are not allowed to give up on the future of our children. And that's exactly the time that we need to enhance the voice of women, the voice of mothers. And I want to tell you that according last survey, the majority of the population of Israel understands that the only thing that will give us security and freedom is diplomatic agreements. And this knowledge is so important for the ability to promote peace. And about women, I want to tell you that we know that one of the biggest obstacles that were during the years when we didn't succeed to make peace is because the women were not on the table, at the table. We know that when women taking meaningful part in the negotiations, in the peace process, the chance to find sustainable solutions is higher in 40%.
By 40%, yes, okay.
And it's not surprising, because when we are there, things are coming better, in better way. And I want to tell you that on the 4th of October, 2023, 3 days before the disaster, we had a big event with our Palestinian partners, with the members of Women of the Sun, our sister movement. It was 1,500 women in Jerusalem and in the Dead Sea. And we said we are sitting on a ticking bomb. We have to take care of the conflict. We can't continue to ignore it. And the Irish ambassador told us, she told us like this: you know why our conflict in Ireland already solved and yours didn't yet? Because in our conflict, the women were around the table. Without the women, you will not succeed.
Wow. Well, those are very telling words. I am curious to hear what you would say. I mean, so much of Israeli society is so disillusioned with peace. I mean, there have been so many efforts made, and I mean, we've been at war for so long now. I'm curious what you would say to people who are disillusioned with peace, who don't believe that it's possible. What would you say?
As I said, the pain, the anger, the despair is fully understandable. But in these days, when we see the high price of this awful war, how many poor families join to the bereaved families circle, and you see how much suffering from both peoples, that's exactly the time. We are not allowed to give up on the future. We have to insist, to consist the struggle for peace. And this is our main role, to raise the flag of hope and to say again and again, peace is possible. Long and bitter conflicts around the world were solved with women, so it can be happened also here.
Oh, wow. Those are very powerful words. I would love to hear what makes Tel Aviv University so special. Do you think that, students at Tel Aviv University can rise to the occasion and bring peace to the Middle East?
Yeah, it's the duty of the young students, and together we can do it. And I want to tell you that I'm optimistic.
Yes.
Because I know that as women, as mothers, with our partners, the Palestinian partners, we wrote together our joint mother's call. And this document opening hearts of many people around this suffering area, women and men, and around the world. And this is my request. All the young students, all the old students, support our mother's call. This is the call that demand to raise kids for life, not for death, to enable them to fulfill their dreams. And we know that every voice counts, and it's very, very meaningful for us, special for the students.
Wow. What kind of, after you achieve your goals and the organization achieves its goals, what kind of world do you see? What vision do you see in your mind every day? What goals are you working towards that you picture? What kind of society would you like to see?
I'll tell it very personally. I lost my brother when I was 12 years old. In these days, I really understood the high price. My mother died from sorrow. She didn't see my 6 kids and my 13 grandchildren. She died from sorrow. And as mother and as grandmother, I know that it's so understandable. The sorrow is really unbelievable. And my dream is that no mother will bury her child for unneeded, avoidable wars. This is our duty, and that's the main reason that I'm continuing with my amazing friends and members in Women Wage Peace and in Women of the Sun from Palestine. We are together, know that the deepest desire that we have is to grow, to enable our children to grow up for life, not for death.
Wow. That's a powerful image, and I hope that your dreams come true.
I hope that I succeed to express my feelings in my not fluent English.
Your English is great. Your English is better than my Hebrew, and that's an accomplishment.
Maybe next time we will do it in Hebrew.
Next time. Next time in Tel Aviv.
Yeah. When peace will come.
Yes, when peace will come.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations, Mazalto.
Thank you. And I want to say again that this so distinguished award is meaningful for all of us. Tens of thousands of women around Israel are giving their thanks to the institute, which is so important for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Oh, you can just put it down. It's okay. Yes. Hi, welcome. I'm Darcy. What's your name? Miranda, okay. It's very nice to meet you. You are an expert in climate change, and you have been a professor at many different universities, correct? What do you think sets Tel Aviv University apart from the rest of the universities that you've taught at or that you've lectured at?
One of the things that makes Tel Aviv University so special is the sense of entrepreneurship that you have here.
Mm-hmm.
So my first time to Tel Aviv University was, I think, in 2008. And I have seen new programs developed in the meantime, dealing with many of the kinds of issues I spend my life working on. public policy, climate issues, sustainability, leadership. So I think that's something that makes Tel Aviv a special place. And something else is the international nature of the students that are here. You bring students from the diaspora here, and you also have many students from different regions of the world. So that's exciting.
That's very exciting. Have you seen a lot of, climate tech innovations happen here? Have you seen many students, Yes. Can you describe them for me?
Yeah, so when I think about the changes I've seen since I first came to Tel Aviv, some of them are outside in the surroundings here, where you see, for example, the building of the railroads, or you see the planting of more and more trees. But if you look at Tel Aviv University has tried itself to become an example of a climate-neutral university. Solar panels on the roof, water is used very, very efficiently here. Students are developing apps that can be used to use transport more efficiently, and all of that contributes to our climate policies and programs.
That's incredible. Right now, it's kind of a catastrophe with the climate. Every day you read more news about how our Earth is not going to be alive in 50 years it was 50 years 10 years ago. I'm curious if you have anything hopeful to share, if you've seen anything that brings you hope in terms of climate change, public policy in that area in your field.
I think you're right that climate change is a very threatening future. We are going to see higher temperatures, we're going to see sea level rise, and for many young people that is pretty scary. But at the same time, there's good reason to have hope. And let me just give you a few examples. It's everything from communities that are saying we can use our materials in a more efficient way. We can recycle them into a circular economy. We can introduce policies that shift us away from coal use towards renewable energy. And these things are happening so fast right now that renewable energy is actually cheaper than fossil fuels. We're starting to see electric vehicles come also into the region here. People who are in bicycle paths and motor scooters. We're seeing changes in behavior and changes in technology. So there's still a long ways to go, but I see really important changes happening, and they do give me some hope.
Okay, I'm glad. I feel like my generation has this existential dread with regard to our planet,
It is. It's for your generation scary.
Yes.
And actually for my generation too. And we should be aware how serious it is. And we shouldn't just say, well, it's going to be okay. It's only going to be okay if we make it a priority. Mm-hmm. We need to really focus on doing everything possible to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions, reduce the plastic that we're throwing into the oceans, and even going a step further and thinking about how can we have regulatory and technological changes that bring us into a more sustainable future. So it's not just making small incremental changes, but it's really thinking about what's the industrial revolution that takes us not backwards but forwards into a society where you can say we have clean air, we're not contributing to climate change, our cities are greener, our architecture is really cool because we're using recycled materials. And we are designing things in such a way that the birds and the bees want to live on the rooftop.
That sounds like a world that I would love to live in.
Does sound good, doesn't it?
It sounds incredible. What a dream. I would love to hear from you. what qualities you believe people who want to follow in your footsteps should have. I mean, we're at Tel Aviv University, which is filled with young students who I'm sure want to do as great work as you do. What would you tell them?
I would say, for one, never give up. Never believe when someone says we can't do anything. Believe in your power to bring about a change. And the contributions that any one individual make are contributing to larger changes. And what people at the university have, it's a real gift. You have the ability to look across disciplines and think about how somebody who works in the arts or in regulatory questions can work with an engineer or a biomedical expert and think about where are the changes that move us forward towards a more sustainable future.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, we're honored to have you here with us today. And we're just happy that you are the one that gets to lead the next generation into creating the next climate policies.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Good
And
luck.
Mazalto, congratulations in all the languages.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great rest of your evening. No, you can keep it on. You can do whatever you would like.
You're the boss. It's your show.
Welcome.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So, I'm not running a board tonight.
Okay. Well, if you speak into the microphone, people can hear you. Yes. Mr. Daniel Cohen?
Yeah. Please call me Dan.
Dan? Okay, great. What brings you here tonight?
I'm a governor of Tel Aviv University, and the annual meeting of the governors is occurring this week.
Yes.
And it's a week of very interesting presentations and some very fun parties honoring some incredible people. So that's what brings me here.
Wow. And what do you think sets Tel Aviv University apart from all the other schools?
Well, I'm going to be honest, I don't know that much specifically about the other schools, but my family's been involved with Tel Aviv University for 40 years. My father was very committed to it. And so I've met a lot of people here. I know the entire administration, and they're first-class people. So I can't imagine that any place else compares, because they're so good here.
Wow, that's
And
incredible.
it's an incredible campus, incredible resources and facilities. And every year I come back, I come once a year, there are always substantial changes that I'm very proud of, and they're exciting.
Wow. What would you tell students who are studying here right now, if you had one message to send to them that would help them?
I would say, I've been to a lot of places in the world, and this seems like one of the top universities in the world to me, and they should be very appreciative and feel very fortunate to be able to study here. And Tel Aviv has changed a lot in the last 20 years. It's become a very important city in the world, and lots of arts and culture and fashion and all that good stuff. And this is right in the middle of everything. So I think they should feel very lucky. And it's a great place to get a strong start in life.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah. And I hope you have a great rest of your evening. It sounds great, and your work sounds incredible to me.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right.
Hi.
Hi,
How are you?
welcome. I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm
Francis. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Darcy.
Great.
What brings you here?
So my family helped create the University of Tel Aviv, 68 years ago.
Okay.
So I can explain that live. Just trying to remove. There we go.
Hi.
So should I look at you or should I look at the camera? What do you prefer?
You can look at both.
Okay.
I've been looking at you or the people who are sitting in your chair.
Okay.
But I'm happy to look more at the camera, whichever you prefer.
I mean, it's your call, so I can do both.
Okay, well, maybe you can look at the camera, introduce yourself, describe your connection with the university to our audience.
Great. What's your name? Sorry?
I'm Darcy.
Darcy, okay,
Yes.
great, perfect. Okay.
It's on.
Okay, so you want me to start?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, hi. Okay, great. So thank you, Darcy, for having me here. Very happy to be in Tel Aviv. And so the story of my family with the Tel Aviv University goes back to its founding 68 years ago, because my grandfather, Hugo Ramnanu, whose name is on gate 4, was one of the founding members of the University of Tel Aviv. And 38 years ago, he created the Hugo Ramnanu Economy Prize, which will be given tomorrow to two entrepreneurs from the north side of Israel that were greatly affected with the war in Iran, with Lebanon. And last year we gave the prize to three entrepreneurs from the southwest who are in kibbutzim near Gaza.
Wow, that's incredible work. I'm curious, your family has been with this university for seemingly so many generations. What changes have you seen, positive changes that have, inspired you, that have, kept up your support for this university?
So you're right that it has been several generations. So my grandfather, as I mentioned, was working for many decades, and I will become tomorrow the new president of the French Friends. So my job will be to raise money for students at Tel Aviv University, for scholarships, for buildings, hopefully, for years to come. And I think, we're talking about buildings now, and what is amazing is that every year when you come to the University of Tel Aviv, there's a new building that's been around. So that's one major change that is very easy to see. I think the other major change is that the university keeps growing in the rankings. So every year it seems that university is better ranked, better placed. I think what has been changing as well, of course, is how many international students, how many international teachers have been coming to the university. What has changed for the worse, unfortunately, is that with BDS and all the smear campaign from other countries, some students now are afraid to come to Tel Aviv, even though it's such a great university.
In this world of BDS, have you seen any glimmers of hope, reasons to be hopeful for, the international relationship, I guess international academic relationship with Tel Aviv University? So
I think when you talk about, academia for the university, you talk about, international students coming to Tel Aviv University, Tel Aviv University students going to international universities, and same thing with professors. So the good news is that when students can come to Israel, they do come. I think that Ariel Porad, the president, was talking about the fact that before the war, about 2,500 students were at Tel Aviv University. Last year was much less, almost zero. This year is back to 1,300, 1,500. So again, it's almost back on track. But I think a lot of pro-Palestinian, especially pro-Hamas organizations across the world are trying to block those partnerships from going on, and are trying to prevent Israeli students from studying on foreign campus and international students from going to Israel. So it's an everyday fight, but fortunately I think the university is quite strong in attracting professors and students.
All right, great. Thank you so much for your words. We're happy to have you here today, and have a great rest of your evening here.
Thank you, Darcy, and thank you, the Jerusalem Post, and I think what you do is very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Shalom, מעניינים. Hey. My name is Darcy Grumbla. I would love for you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what brings you here.
Where do I look?
You can look at the camera.
Which is there?
Yes.
My name is Dana Azrieli, and I'm about to receive an honorary doctorate.
Ms. Dana Azrieli, she is the chairman of the Azrieli Group, which is the largest publicly traded real estate company in Israel. This is a businesswoman right here in front of us. I would love
In the flesh.
I would love to hear what qualities you think it takes. For people who would love to follow in your footsteps. Build their own businesses themselves. What qualities you think it takes for them to do so, and what qualities you possess that have brought you here.
First of all, the most important quality I think it takes for young people today is when they're starting out is to listen more than they talk, to really understand what's going on in the environment. I think that's a really important quality. And second of all, I think that it's really important to understand that when you're trying to make big changes, you need to be able to live with both fear and courage. It's two different emotions that seem to contradict each other, but as you're taking steps forward, you need to be able to understand that you may be afraid and at the same time live with that fear, acknowledge it, and then really go into the courage in order to take the steps forward to make the decisions you need to make. And if I was to give advice, which is I think what I'm doing right now, though that is the advice I give. Live with both fear and courage side by side in order to be your best self. And while you're at it, surround yourself by people who are different than you, so you're hearing advice from all sides of any issue. So you can make the best decision at any given time.
You're a very significant contributor to the architecture school. What would you say to those who would like to, build their own architecture businesses or are just starting out? Do you have any message to the students, particularly at Tel Aviv University, but, to any of our young entrepreneurial viewers? Do you have anything that you would say to them to advance their careers?
The Azrieli Foundation is a big contributor to the Tel Aviv School of Architecture, the Azrieli School of Architecture, in my late father's name. We're very, very proud of this donation. We're big believers in Israeli architects who can form the Tel Aviv skyline. To young architects out there, I'd say don't forget to be creative, but also be really, really practical. It's great to have an idea and then learn what it's like to really build it in the field, because an idea on paper is a long way from knowing what it's like in the field. So as you're out there dreaming, and don't forget to dream, learn what it's like to be practical as well. That's my big advice. And I wish you all a lot of luck. Thank you so much for asking me to speak here today. It's a great pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, and congratulations, Mazalto, and I wish you the best of luck. Hi, my name is Darcy. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, of course.
My name is Alexandra Sean. I'm a student at Tel Aviv University. I'm getting my master's in conflict resolution. And a year ago, I was supposed to go to Berkeley to get my master's in global studies there, but I didn't manage to get my student visa. So I decided to come to Israel to make Aliyah. And then I discovered a beautiful program in Tel Aviv University, which is Masters in Conflict Resolution. And I believe that conflict resolution is something that is so much needed these days, something that I really want to empower with all my skills and opportunities to, let's say, bring something really new in this field.
Wow. What do you think you've gained from your degree in conflict resolution so far?
I think many beautiful things. But I think that the most important one is the deep understanding that we're all one, and the best way to proceed for all of us is just to unite and see how we can support each other as a community and what we can do to make sure that we bring peace to all around us.
And you know what? You will be receiving your degree from Tel Aviv University. Why?
In 2 months.
In 2 months? Oh my goodness! Congratulations. What makes you proud to have a Tel Aviv University degree?
You know, every time when you're walking around the campus, you can see that each little square, tree, or the whole building is donated by someone who really believed in the power of education and the power of Jewish people. So I think that having a degree at Tel Aviv University means something very symbolic for me. And I like and I enjoy the program so much that I even decided to launch a scholarship to support women who really want to dedicate their life for peaceful coexistence, empowered by knowledge that they can gain into Tel Aviv University.
Wow, that's incredible. We just spoke with Yael Admi, and you know she's the founder of Women Wage Peace, and I'm sure that you two would have a lot to speak about.
Well, I honestly, when I checked their schedule, I realized that this is what Tel Aviv University is doing. It brings together like-minded people that can unite and join forces to bring something really important to the world.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you have a really bright and important future ahead of you. And we're so happy to have you here with us with the Jerusalem Post and also at Tel Aviv University for this
Thank you
event.
very much.
Thank you so much for joining us. Okay. You can follow this event live at thejerusalempost.com, on Twitter, also on Tel Aviv University's Facebook and YouTube. We are here with our next guest. Hi.
Next victim.
Yes, it's being filmed. Hi. I'm doing well. Hi. I'm Darcy. It's nice to meet you. If people.
It's kind of irrelevant who I am if I don't. Yeah. Okay.
What brings you here tonight?
I'm a dean of the faculty. Wait, start from the beginning?
Yes.
Starting from the beginning. I'm Karen Abraham. I'm the dean of the Gray Faculty of Medical and Health Sciences. Hence the outfit.
Okay. So you're going to be giving the people the awards, or you're one of the
Not
people?
Not me directly. The rector of the university does that, Professor Mark Steif.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll be representing all the different faculties. So I'm medicine, we have life sciences, humanities, law. Yeah.
Okay, great. And what makes you proud to work at Tel Aviv University?
I've been here for 30 years. This is my home. I moved to Israel from the United States. You could probably tell by my accent. And I felt that there was more of a sense of purpose to living in Israel. And I've never lost that belief. So I decided I moved here, I made Aliyah, I decided to build my academic and scientific career here. I think what's really special about doing science in Israel and at Tel Aviv University is that we're not competing in a small little place, but we're competing with the world, and we're doing very well at it. We have the most remarkable scientists at our faculty, making research and medical breakthroughs all the time. And Tel Aviv is a place that you really can express your freedom in terms of scientific ideas. You can think out of the box, you can be creative, you can have wild ideas, and you can work to make them happen. Don't always succeed. You know, science is, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The other thing is we have remarkable students, very ambitious, very dedicated, very much want to get ahead. I think a little bit of that kind of startup nation energy that Tel Aviv has. And so we're lucky that they decide to study here, whether it's a master's or a PhD, or whether they want to become physicians and go to med school or become nurses, physical therapists. We have about 6,000 students in our faculty. So there's pretty much anything you want to do in the health professions, you could do it in our faculty.
Wow, that sounds incredible. Yeah. And as an Ola yourself, I mean, what would you say new immigrants to Israel bring to Tel Aviv University? I mean, this university is filled with new immigrants.
Yeah, constantly.
Olim. Yes.
So, you know, I was one myself many years ago. I think it's a very welcoming place for new immigrants because we realize that this is the fabric of what makes up our society. It brings more ideas, different ways of looking at things, new cultures. The Laui International School here at Tel Aviv University is incredible in terms of welcoming students that come from abroad, whether they're coming here for a short amount of time or whether they decide they want to move to Israel and make Israel their home. So there's a lot of really good places. If you have trouble with the language, you can study in English, and you can take Ulpan and learn Hebrew. So there's a lot of ways to transition into living here.
Wow, that sounds great. Well, thank you so much for joining us here at the Jerusalem Post and Tel Aviv University.
I read it every week.
Incredible.
Thank you. Great to meet you.
Great to meet you too. And best of luck. Thank you. Hi.
I'm Mark from Goodman Institute.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What is the plan? Do I sit?
Yes, just sit. Sit, make yourself comfortable. You're on camera, you're
it's a bit
live.
loud here, so I need to make sure I hear what you're asking.
Just make sure that you speak into the microphone.
1, 2. Yeah. And I assume it's just a few minutes, right?
Yeah, it's just 1 minute. Would love for you to introduce yourself. Tell us what brings you here and what your connection to Tel Aviv University is.
I'm Mark Shmulevich. I started a program together with the Zimin Foundation, which is behind this program, called Zimin Institutes. And Tel Aviv University became our first partner in 2018. What we do is that we help academic researchers, postdocs, principal investigators to build real-world projects, usually startups, but sometimes in a different form. And we work with several universities across Israel, but Tel Aviv University is our headquarters.
What do you think makes Tel Aviv University so special?
We like the interdisciplinary nature of research here. For instance, when we started, we made it mandatory for the projects we support to combine engineering and life sciences. And I think today it's a big strength of university to be able to generate innovation where one field meets another one.
Wow. No, that's very important for people to have cross-disciplinary knowledge. I'm curious, what would you tell students who are looking to go in those fields?
Don't be afraid to take a calculated risk. I think that if you're in academia or if you're close to academia, then it's highly probable that one of the things you've been working on can become a huge thing in the real world, and you just need to try.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here today with Tel Aviv University and the Jerusalem Post. and have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you. But I have a question. Although it was so short, I was not sure what you will ask about. Do you think?
So we have concluded our interviews here with the Jerusalem Post and Tel Aviv University at the annual Board of Governors meeting. Thank you so much for joining us in this live. We are so thrilled that you could join us. If you would like to watch this again, you can watch us at thejerusalempost.com. Also, it will be available on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. Bye.